Hi, thanks for joining me today. Is your adult stepchildren's negative reaction to you really getting to you? Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell and I'll let you know every time I post. When you have grown-up stepchildren or nearly grown-up stepchildren, they can be relentlessly cruel and you have very little actual control over them, and your partner can be really negatively affected by it too. So the first thing to realise is that whatever the rejection behaviour is, even if it's from a 45-year-old person who should know better, this is their childlike reaction to what's gone on in the past. Now, of course, that in itself doesn't actually help you that much. You're still getting the bad reaction from them. So what can you do about it? Well, sometimes there's not a lot. So the first step is to recognise what the situation is now. And maybe you can't do anything about it, and it's a matter of coping with your life without having a relationship with them and making the best of it and not letting it tear you apart. But I always like to think that there is hope. And what you need to do, if you want to work at it, is to work with what is. What have you got at the moment in terms of communication and interaction? And develop that. I always think that it's worth, when you're trying to develop a relationship, is to recognise that the responsibility for making a change rests with you. You can't expect other people to change just because you say so, or because you want to, or because you encourage them to change. If you want this relationship to change, it's going to take you to make the changes first. And I always think that it is worth working at building a relationship by being helpful to them in a way that will help them. See if you can't find ways of being useful to your stepchildren. And that might mean doing stuff or volunteering or using the skills that you have to help them. And if they've got young children, you may offer babysitting, you may offer to take them to clubs, you may offer to take them on small breaks away or holidays, or go on holidays with them, or teach them things that you're good at. Maybe you're good at computer skills, maybe you're good at gardening, decorating, whatever. Whatever it is that you can offer to do can help you build a relationship with them that is not based on the fact that you are the partner of one of their parents. It introduces another dynamic into the relationship for which they can really appreciate you and value your worth, if you like. If something, like their front area of their house needs clearing because it's full of brambles, why don't you offer to do it? Or if they've got a pet and they want to go away, offer to look after the pet. It's surprising how this can work. There's just a couple of other things that's worth mentioning here, is that if you have been rejected by them, your stepchildren, it's quite likely that there's a frostiness between you and you feel similarly about them. You know, the stuff you don't like about them either. And it's worth trying to put that aside and try and see life from their perspective, so you don't find yourself being critical of them. Seeing things from their perspective will enable you to be more understanding and sympathetic of them, and then be more prepared to help and able to help. And the second thing is, this can take time. It requires a lot of kind of patience, where they may reject you several times. They may keep saying no to you. They may keep putting up an affront. But you've just got to make your mind up that you're going to keep on offering and keep on trying to build the relationship. It may not work, but it won't happen the first time you ask, or the second time, or the third time. It takes a huge amount of patience just to be there and keep doing it. Another thing that can change their view is, as they grow older, they can realise that relationships are a lot more difficult than they had thought when they were younger. And often life can teach them, if they start getting a divorce themselves, or their best friends start getting divorces, that can bring them round. You just need to be patient and to be there and to be useful to them. And finally, you may not want to do this. This might be a bridge too far. You may not want to sort of position yourself as a helper to somebody who's out and out rude to you. That's your choice, and it's a perfectly legitimate choice, and you're perfectly entitled to make it. And I would stand with you if you make that decision. You're perfectly entitled to not put yourself down, if you like, in order to build the relationship. If you don't want to, and they either accept you for who you are or not at all, that can be a perfectly legitimate stance to take. And finally, this can be a huge disappointment to you, because you could have never thought this would happen as you entered this step family, that you would be rejected by your partner's children. You always thought that if you were reasonable, they would be reasonable. Actually, in a step family, that's not the case. So the finally point is that you really do just need to be content, or make yourself happy with what is and how the situation is at the moment, and be thankful for the good things you do have in the relationship, and be able to, in a way, nurture yourself so you can feel okay about the relationship as it is. It's not ideal, but it's often what is in a step family, and this is not about you. The poor behaviour is projected. We run workshops, sessions, an email response service, and we write booklets. Look at the description box below for links to our social media and website.